আমরা জাস্ট শুরু করি। What are the basic idea about alcohol? All of you are familiar with the word alcohol. So basic idea: alcohol is a compound or organic compound containing the OH group with a saturated carbon atom. Saturated,
স্যার
yes.
স্যার এই সেমিস্টারে ক্লাস রেকর্ড করবেন না?
ক্লাস রেকর্ড করছি, অলরেডি শুরু করেছি।
সো সরি স্যার, আমি
ওকে
দেখিনি।
ওকে, না না, সমস্যা নেই। কারণ হলো যে তোমরা মাঝে মধ্যে আমি ভুলে যাই, তো যদি ক্লাসের শুরুর দিকে মনে করাই দাও, দ্যাট উড বি বিট মানে লিটল বিট বেটার। কারণ কোনো দিন যদি ভুলে যাই, তো শুরুর দিকে, মাঝখানে করলে সেক্ষেত্রে ওই ক্লাস অলরেডি অনেকটা গ্যাপ হয়ে গেছে, তার মানে ওই দিন লেকচার রেকর্ড করা। এনিওয়ে, যতটুকু রেকর্ড করা থাকে সে ভালো। তো যদি শুরুর দিকে হয় একটু মনে করাই দিও। আর আমি চেষ্টা করব আমি নিজেই করতে, কারণ আমি যেহেতু এটা রেসপন্সিবিলিটি আমিই নিচ্ছি, সে কারণে রেকর্ডটা আমিই করব। যাই হোক, তাহলে হোয়াট আর দ্য বেসিক আইডিয়া অ্যাবাউট অ্যালকোহল? I have mentioned that the compound containing OH functional group. Huh? Functional group, you are familiar with that word. The functional group is a atom or a group of atoms. When they present in a compound, the characteristics of that compound determines by that atom or group of atoms. That is considered, or that can be known as functional group. So OH is a functional group. When this OH group present in a compound, specifically in organic compound. Otherwise, sometimes we may have the OH group in some bases also, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, that are not our interest for this one. So if the OH group is present in a organic compound, that means one hydrogen of a alkane is replaced by the one OH group or multiple OH groups. Just at least one OH group is substituted or replaced by one one hydrogen of a organic compound or an alkane is replaced by one OH. Then we can consider that compound as alcohol. So alcohol is an organic compound that carries at least one hydroxyl functional group. At least one. It may have multiples. So depending on the number of alcoholic groups, we will name the compound, and also the characteristics will change. So alcohol is an organic compound that carries at least one hydroxyl functional group bound to a saturated carbon atom. So saturated carbon atom, that means a carbon atom can have maximum 4 valencies. So if the 4 valencies are occupied by hydrogen or other carbon atoms, then that carbon is considered as saturated. So just it should be single bonded, single bonded carbon. So it should not have double bond or triple bond, that means no multiple bonds. So that can be considered as saturated. It can have a cyclic compound, however it should not have double bonds. The term alcohol originally referred to the primary alcohol. Actually, when we do not mention any other words like as uh, diol, triol, or something, just if we mention that alcohol, you will understand that is mentioned for the primary alcohol, that means 1 degree alcohol or alcohol containing one OH group. So normally, if you if we mention that alcohol has alcohol, just alcohol, then you will consider that is a primary alcohol. That means it has only one hydroxyl group. Until and unless we mention that it has 2, 3 or multiple or more than 3 OH groups. So just representing alcohol. That word represents a primary alcohol, like as ethyl alcohol or ethanol, which is used as a drug and is the main alcohol present in alcoholic drinks. Maybe you may have or not but one thing, many of you have taken the homeopathy medicine, aren't you? Many of you have. Even myself taken the homeopathic medicine while I was a kid. That times, actually, mm, the alcohol, the homeopathic medicine is mixed with alcohol. So all the homeopathic medicine, especially when it is given as a liquid, or even sometime uh, some sugar, some sugar ball, and then the medicine is mixed with this, then you are taking the homeopathic medicine. So most of the time, if the uh, medicine or homeopathic medicine is in forms of liquid, then that is definitely mixed with ethanol, so or ethyl alcohol. So more or less we have taken, everyone have taken the ethyl alcohol. That is ethyl alcohol. Maybe someone may have different thinking regarding that this is not good, because we may have the bindings from the religion that we should not drink alcohol. However, as medicine we may have anything. uh, I think all the religions say like this way. So that is not the big issue. If we drink alcohol for to be drunk, that is the difficulty. So we are not doing that. We want to cure our disease. So if anything, whatever we may need, that is okay. So what is the general formula? This is, we have the general formula for alkane is CnH2n plus 2, that is for the alkane. And for hydroxyl group or the alcohol, one hydrogen is replaced by the OH functional groups. Therefore you will have here CnH2n plus 1. So here one hydrogen has been replaced by this OH group. So we are mentioning here that OH and one hydrogen is replaced by this OH. So very similar to the alkane, just one hydrogen from here we had CnH2n plus 2. So we are having here 1, and then we are adding the OH functional group to the general formula. So this is the general formula of hydroxyl group or alcohol compound. Just if you change the number of n, then you can get easily the successive number or successive member of alcohols. Where we can find out the alcohols? Simple alcohols are found widely in nature, because we have different types of food items, and most of the alcohols are synthesized from different types of food, like as rice or wheat or some different types of fruits. So most of the simple alcohols, that means those alcohols containing very small number of carbons, or containing one or two hydroxyl groups, that can be considered as simple alcohols. But sometimes some very big alcohol molecule, actually in nature that types of alcohols are not very much available. So simple alcohols are found widely in nature. Ethanol is the most prominent because it is the product of fermentation, a major energy producing pathway. So for fermentation or by fermentation we can get the ethanol, a major energy producing pathway. So just whatever food, mostly any types of food items or fruits, whatever, after getting fermentation we can produce some alcohols. The other simple alcohols are formed in, what happened? Excuse me. Okay, sorry. So other simple alcohols are formed in only trace amounts. That means many of them, or first few of them, are very much available in nature and in different foods, and we can get by fermentation process. But some of them, the other some simple alcohols, are formed in only trace amounts, very little, not many of them. More complex alcohols, however, are persistent as manifested in sugars, some amino acids, and fatty acids. So, more complex alcohols, that means it can have very long chain, or a too many branches, 3 or 4 branches, or 3 or 4 hydroxyl groups. That types of alcohol we may have in some sugars, or some in some amino acids and fatty acids. So in nature, mostly we found the simplest alcohols, methanol or ethanol, like this. So these are found by, or it is obtained by fermentation process, and other simple alcohols are available in nature in very trace amounts, and more complex alcohols are found in some sugars and amino acids and fatty acids. So that is the occurrence in nature or availability in nature. Classification of alcohols. How we can classify the alcohols? Based on number of hydroxyl groups. How many hydroxyl groups you have in a alcohol? Based on hydroxyl groups, we can classify the alcohols as monohydric and polyhydric. You can have the monohydric, dihydric, polyhydric. Actually, dihydric also a type of polyhydric. So we don't need to classify, just monohydric and polyhydric, that will be fine. So monohydric, that means if a alcohol molecule contains at just one OH group, only one, so that will be considered as monohydric alcohol. And if any alcohol have multiple hydroxyl groups, more than one, in that case we will consider that hydroxyl or alcohol as a polyhydric alcohols. So we can classify polyhydric depending on how many, 2, 3, 4. So in that case, diol, triol, tetraol, like this way. So we'll later see if we have that type. So in this chapter we will be learning alcohols and triols. That means in alcohols we will cover up mostly 2 hydroxyl groups, that means 1 and 2, and triols in that upper that part. So just if we could write down the alcohol monohydric, sorry, n equal 1 to 3, the number of OH, that is fine. So let us see some examples of monohydric and polyhydric alcohols. Here I have given many symbols, different types of representation. CH3 CH2 OH, C2H6O, and these are the structure where the hydrogen and carbons are attached. So we can write down in different way, all of them are same. So this is the skeletal form. Just these are, this is one CH3, sorry, this is CH3, another CH3. So CH3 and OH is bonded here. So CH3 and CH2, sorry, CH3 CH2 and OH. So CH3 CH2 OH, these are the, all of them represent the same thing. Sometimes we may need to use these types of structure to represent the, if we need to show the mechanism or any other thing. In that case we can have these types of structure, or sometimes to simplify the structure we can use these types of configuration also. Just but in that case it is very difficult to understand what types of functional group it may have. We can write down this from this is as C like this way, or even we can write down CH3O CH3. So that becomes ether. So this is our alcohol, but this is the formula. Now we can write down this as alcohol or even like as ether. So if we write down this way, that is little bit complicated and confusing. So we will try to avoid these types of structure most of the time. We can write down this one or this one. However, we will not use these types of structure too much. Sometime you may write down, because if we write down how many isomers you have for this, how many isomers, then you can easily find out at least two isomers, because from this one we can make the alcohol or ether. So these types of structure, but most of the time we will use either these three. Okay, so this is the ethanol contains only one OH group. So if a molecule have only one, or if an alcohol contain only one hydroxyl group, then we will consider as monohydric. And if the hydroxyl or alcohol contains more than one hydroxyl group, in that case we can consider that as a polyhydric alcohols. Okay, so polyhydric alcohols, this is an example. Here you can see we have three hydroxyl groups attached to three carbon atoms. The general formula, or not general formula, the symbol, here you can see the formula of this alcohol is C3H8O3. That means 1 2 3, three carbon is attached here, 1 2 3, three carbon, and here we can have only one hydrogen, and then rest of them CH2OH CH2OH. So glycerol, the name of this compound, or even you can write down the name in another form. Anyone can have the IUPAC name directly. How we can name these types of compound containing three hydroxyl group? Though I think I did not teach you like this way. Maybe two hydroxyl group, I did not go for the third one. So if you can name two hydroxyl group containing compound, then you will be able to write down for three also. Just here you have three hydroxyl groups at three different positions. So mention the position of the carbons, hydroxyl groups. So 1 2 3, we have only three carbon atoms. So we have three carbon atoms, at the hydroxyl groups are in three different positions. So it should be given the numbers 1 2 3. So 1 2 3 trihydroxy propanol, or just trihydroxy propanol directly. Propan space or hyphen all, we can write down that way, or we can also write down that 1 2 3 trihydroxy alcohol, or sorry, trihydroxy propanol, not alcohol. Okay, by this way we can write down. So based on number of hydroxyl groups present in the alcohol, we can classify as monohydric and polyhydric. Now let's see, if we have only one hydroxyl group but at different position, so monohydric alcohols can be classified in three, or at sometime we can classify in four. So first, you are familiar with the 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree alcohols. 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree. But if you see for methanol, then how you will classify? Methanol is 1 degree or 2 degree or 3 degree? Anyone have the idea? Though I have mentioned here, so you can easily understand that the definition of 1 degree or 2 degree or 3 degree alcohol, that the monohydric alcohol, that means we have only one hydroxyl group. So this is the simple structure for the monohydric alcohol. So monohydric alcohol, that means we can have here one hydrogen or alkyl group. Here also same thing. These are three question marks. In the question marks, you may have either hydrogen or alkyl or aryl group. So depending on the number of hydrogen or alkyl groups, we will classify them as 1 degree, 2 degree or 3 degree. Also, we can name as 0 degree. Let's see first for 1 degree alcohol. So what happens for 1 degree? Primary alcohol. So primary alcohol, that means 1 degree alcohol, one other carbon atoms. So this is our general structure for an alcohol. So if we have one carbon attached to this carbon, that means in these three question marks, if you have one carbon atom attached to any of the this bonded, so this carbon, if the OH is bonded to this carbon, so if you have at least, if you have, sorry, not at least, if you have only one carbon attached to this carbon, so maybe you can have here or here, anywhere. So if we have only one carbon attached to this carbon, that means the carbon where the OH group is attached, then we can consider that compound as 1 degree or primary alcohol. So in that case you can consider as ethanol. So rest of them should have the hydrogens. So here is one hydrogen, here is another hydrogen, here is one CH3 or some R or aryl, anything is fine. So we should have at least one carbon attached to this carbon. So if we have one here CH3, then we can have here hydrogen and hydrogen. So we can name the compound as ethanol. So ethanol is 1 degree alcohol. Secondary alcohol or 2 degree alcohol, that means if you have two carbon atoms attached to this, two carbon atoms attached to this, so this carbon, in that case we will have the secondary alcohol. And if you have three other carbon atoms, in that case tertiary alcohols. So if you have all of them are three carbon atoms attached, here one, here another one, here another one. So if you have three carbon atoms attached to this, in that case you can consider that alcohol as 3 degree. Now if you do not have any carbon atoms attached to this carbon, then what will happen? How you can define? So in methanol you do not have any carbon atoms attached to this carbon, just all of them are saturated or all of them are occupied by one hydrogen. In that case, by following this rule, we do not have any carbon atom, we do not have any carbon attached to this carbon, therefore 0. So if we have 1, then we will say 1 degree. If we have 2, then we will say 2 degree. If we have 3, then we will say 3 degree. Then if you have 0, you should say that is 0 degree alcohol. So methanol is the only 0 degree alcohol. So sometime you can have the name for methanol as 0 degree alcohol. So in the universe you will not get any other alcohol having 0 degree except the methanol, because for any other successive member of the alcohol you must need to have more than one carbon. Therefore all of them will be either 1 degree, 2 degree or 3 degree, but we have only one methanol. Even you can name this just either 0 degree or directly we can say methanol. Okay, so what we have mentioned for the 1 degree, 2 degree, we have given more examples. This is ethanol or this is propanol. That means in a primary or 1 degree alcohol, the carbon which carries the OH group is only attached to one alkyl group. So one alkyl group or aryl group, that can be. Here it should not write down like this way. It should have one alkyl group or aryl or write down you can like this way, R or AR, like this. So similarly everywhere, so that can have R or AR. Okay, so similarly, one thing here, don't get confused with these types of structure, because we have mentioned that we will have the carbon, only one carbon attached to the carbon containing the OH. So this is the substituent. So there is no way that you can consider this is a secondary alcohol. That means need to consider or need to remember that if an alcohol if an alcohol has one carbon, that means the carbon containing the OH group is attached to one carbon. So this carbon, so adjacent to this carbon atom, not two, this one, so it has two hydrogen atoms, so there is no way it can have two carbon atoms attached to it. So if we had one hydrogen atom, then we can have the possibility to have two carbon atoms attached to this. So we have, so these types of compound also like as or considered as 1-degree alcohol. Just remember that if you have the carbon attached to the OH, so this carbon should have connected to only one carbon, that is the 1-degree alcohol. So for 2-degree, that carbon should be attached to two carbons. Here you can see this is the carbon containing the OH group. So this is the carbon containing the OH group. So this carbon is attached to this carbon and also this carbon. Therefore this this compound is known as 2-degree alcohol. Similarly, for any longer chain or shorter chain, just if you have two carbon atoms attached to the carbon containing the OH group is known as 2-degree alcohol. Even if you have some other functional groups here, maybe you can have more CH3, or here some CH3 is attached, or C2H5, whatever. Even here, if this atom or this carbon have two substituents, that will also be considered as 2-degree alcohol, because this carbon is attached only two carbon atoms, this one and this one. So if this carbon or this carbon is attached to some other one, that is not that is not our interest. So just think about, if you have two carbon atoms attached to the hydroxyl containing carbon, so if this carbon is attached to two different carbons, then we will consider that as 2-degree alcohol or secondary alcohol. For tertiary, you will have no hydrogen to the carbon containing the OH group, because one carbon has the maximum 4 valency. So you cannot have any hydrogen attached to this carbon, only the OH group, so that is already one valency occupied. So you can have maximum 3 alkyl or aryl groups attached to the carbon. So if the carbon containing the OH group have 3 alkyl or aryl groups or attached to 3 carbon atoms, then we can consider that compound as 3-degree alcohol. This is a 3-degree and this is 3-degree. So or tertiary. So tertiary alcohol. So these are the classification of 1-degree alcohol, primary alcohol or monohydric alcohol. Sorry, not primary, monohydric alcohol. So primary, secondary, tertiary, and we have shown the examples. So you can write down the name easily, how many carbons you have and what are the substituents. Already in the first semester we have learned it, so I am not going to show you the naming. So let's go to the structure, how the alcohol is formed or what is the structure of alcohol. The alcohol structure is mainly attributed to the presence of hydroxyl group. That means if any organic compound contain a hydroxyl group, then we can consider that as a alcohol. So alcohol structure is mainly attributed to the presence of hydroxyl group. In alcohols, the carbon atom of the main chain is bonded to the oxygen atom of the hydroxyl group by a sigma bond. So this is the alkyl group or samaryl group or carbon containing side main chain or parent chain. So this is our hydroxyl group. This hydroxyl group or the oxygen of hydroxyl group is attached to the carbon by sigma bond. Sigma bond, we can have the sigma bond by sharing electrons side to side, by sharing the face to face overlap. So the alcohol structure is mainly attributed to the presence of hydroxyl group in alcohol. The carbon atom of the main chain, this is the main chain. It can be very short or very long. So at least we should have one carbon atom here. CH3 or C2H5 or C3H7 like this, whatever. So we should have at least one carbon atom here. So the carbon atom of the main chain is attached to the oxygen of the hydroxyl group by a sigma bond. The sigma bond is formed due to the overlap of an sp3 hybridized orbital of carbon. So we have mentioned in the last semester that for alkane, for saturated hydrocarbon, the carbon is sp3 hybridized. All the carbons are sp3 hybridized. 1 carbon, 2 carbon, 3 carbon, any number of carbon we may have. All the carbons in a saturated hydrocarbon are sp3 hybridized. So sp3 hybridized carbon, so this oxygen also sp3 hybridized. Later I will show you. The sigma bond is formed due to the overlap of an sp3 hybridized orbital of carbon with an sp3 hybridized orbital of oxygen. This carbon has the sp3 hybridized orbital and oxygen also have the sp3 hybridized orbital, and so by overlapping of sp3 hybridized orbital of carbon and sp3 hybridized orbital of oxygen, they can form a sigma bond. So by this way the hydroxyl group forms a bond to the carbon. So due to the repulsion between the unshared electron pairs of oxygen, the bond angle of carbon oxygen hydrogen bonds in alcohols is slightly less than the tetrahedral angle. So here one thing what they have mentioned, here I didn't represent the lone pairs. Actually this oxygen atom, atom has two lone pairs here. That means here 4 extra electrons. In case of carbon we do not have any lone pairs, but in case of oxygen we have two lone pairs. Here we will give the 4 or 2 pairs of electrons. So 4 electrons or 2 pairs of electrons. So these two lone pairs of electrons repulse each other. So they will put some pressure. They will put some pressure to this bond and this bond. Therefore the lone pair of the electrons of the oxygen will occupy little bit more space. Therefore this bond and this bond is gets little bit stress. So this bond becomes little bit like this way and this bond becomes little bit this way. So the bond angle ROH, that means this angle decreases little bit compared to the tetrahedral bond angle. In tetrahedral, that means in methane molecule we have the bond angle around 109 something, 109.5 maybe, around something like this. So for the alcohol we have two lone pairs. Therefore the bond angle is reduced a little bit. compared to the tetrahedral, because we have two lone pairs, that means 4 extra electrons here. So the lone pairs repulse each other, so this bond and this bond get little bit stressed, so this bond angle decrease little bit. Now hybridization of in methanol. So if we have the methanol molecule, how we can have the hybridization? Actually, one thing I didn't put the hybridization. So if I have the definition, okay, no. So why we call hybridization? Are you familiar with the word hybrid?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
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 Then someone can explain what is hybrid in terms of, maybe you can give examples, some vegetables or anything else. Anyone? In short?
So it's more like an offspring, sir.
Sorry?
So it's more like an offspring of any animal or plant, anything.
Yes, exactly. So maybe we may have some vegetables which is not very good production in our country. We have different types of vegetables or any other things or animals. So we can have some cross with some other very good quality or very uh, large or different types of good quality animals or vegetables or some crops. In that case, by combining the cells or chromosome or any other characteristics, just will combine two different, and they will combine to give a new thing which is known as hybrid. So in case of orbitals, in case of carbon, huh, if we find out the hybridization of carbon, in next last semester we have mentioned about the hybridization of carbon. There I have mentioned that in the ground state of carbon we have the electronic configuration like this, because carbon has only 6 electrons. So in the ground state we have 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz0. Therefore, because we have only 6 electrons, so there are 4 electrons, and in the 2p orbital we have only 2 electrons. But if the carbon has some energy, or if it is in excited state, in that case, one electron from this 2s orbital can move or jump. Actually, the energy difference between the 2s and 2p orbital is very less. So, just gaining some energy, it can move one electron from 2s, because this is in the same orbit or shell. So, this is 2s, that means second shell. Both of them are in the second shell. So we have the energy difference, very large difference between two different shell, first shell, second shell, third shell. But if you have the two different orbitals in the same shell, then the energy difference is very less. Therefore, if some energy is provided to the carbon atom, then it can have, or it can jump one electron to the 2s orbital to the 2pg orbital or 2p orbital, and then one electron is distributed to here. So by this way they are forming the 4 different orbitals. Now for hybridization, what will happen? 1s, that means this is 2s, 1s orbital plus 3p orbital. These are two different components, as we have mentioned for hybrid animal, hybrid vegetable. That means we are making cross in between two different properties or two different animals. One can be very small or one can be very big, so we can have something in between. So here we are having two different types of orbitals, 2s orbital and 2p orbital. So we have 1s and 3 p orbitals. So when these 4 orbitals are combining together, that means making cross, actually in the word of biotechnology or any other word, biochemistry. So we can have these types of word also. So by combining these two different types of orbital, we are having the hybrid orbital. So four different or four orbital with same energy and same shape. So here you can see this is the 2s orbital have only one electron, and this is the all of them 2px, 2py, 2pz, all of them have single electron. So when these four orbital are combining together, they are forming 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals or hybridized orbital of same shape and same energy. These are the shape after the hybridization. This is before hybridization, and after hybridization we are getting these types of hybridization. So in case of methane, we can have just 4 hydrogen can have 4 1s orbital, and they can have the orbital, they can share the electron with the 1 sp3 and 1s, another sp3 and 1s, sp3 1s, sp3 1s. So they can have 4 different or 4 sigma bonds by sharing or face to face overlap of the sp3 orbitals and 1s orbitals. Therefore we can have 4 sigma bonds in the methane molecule. Now if we think about methanol, that means we have oxygen. We have oxygen, already we have shown the electronic configuration of carbon. So sp3 hybridized carbon have these types of structure, that means one electron for each sp3 hybrid orbital. Here, 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 all of them have one electron in the sp3 hybridized orbital. But in case of oxygen, oxygen have the atomic number 8. So in the ground state, so they have the electronic configuration like this: 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py1, 2pz1. So here we have two, this is a lone pair, this is a lone pair, just already filled. So if we put one electron from here to here, that becomes same. So that doesn't mean. So now in hybridized form, so you don't need to have the excited state, just in hybridized form, these 2s, that means this is 1s and this 3p, this 1s and 3p, they are forming 4 sp3 hybridized orbital, exactly similar way what we have found in the carbon. But in carbon we had only one electron for each orbital. Here also after hybridization, carbon, in case of carbon we had the excited carbon, and then the orbitals overlapped to give the hybridization. But in case of oxygen we don't need to have the excited. So in this form we have 2 electron in the s orbital, that means 2s orbital, and 2px we have 2 electrons, and rest of them 1 1. So in an orbital we can have maximum 2 electrons, you know, from the Pauli's exclusion principle, with the opposite spin. Is it? We can have maximum 2 electrons in an orbital, so with opposite spin. So we have 2 electrons, we can have 2 electrons in this orbital, or even it can have 2 electrons, or it can have 2 electrons, and here also 2 electrons. So this, in carbon we don't have 2 electrons, so we could not give the 2 electrons. But in case of oxygen we have, so we can have 2 electrons in the 2s and 2px. Therefore after hybridization, this 1s and 3p, don't think about 3p, that means 3p, that is, this is 2p orbitals but 3p orbitals. That means this is one p, this is another p, another p. So 3p orbitals here, 3p orbitals and one s orbital. So 1s orbital and 3p orbital, they are combining to make 4 same energized 4 sp3 hybridized orbital like this way. So here we can have exactly the same structure what we have found for carbon here, the hybridized orbital. So that is the oxygen, and we have more electrons here, one lone pair, here another lone pair, and two other orbitals, two sp3 orbitals, we have one electrons. So this is the sp3 hybridized orbital of oxygen. Now if we think about, this is our sp3 hybridized carbon and this is our sp3 hybridized oxygen. So if these sp3 hybridized oxygen and carbon come close together, this is our sp3 hybridized carbon. As already we have shown that it can have one electron and all of them have one electron, and this is our sp3 hybridized oxygen. We have two lone pairs, exactly similar what I have shown. This is two lone pairs. So here you can see that we have two lone pairs, and here we have only one electron, here we have only one electron. So this is the hybridized carbon and this is hybridized oxygen. So now one sp3 hybridized orbital of carbon and one sp3 hybridized orbital of oxygen, they can overlap face to face. So this orbital and this orbital, when they overlap each other, just they can form a sigma bond. And here we have another sp3 hybridized orbital. So this sp3 hybridized orbital can share the electron, or it can form bond with other hydrogen. So this can have one, and here all of them have single electrons. Therefore they can form bond either with other carbon or hydrogen. As we are considering about the methanol, so we are showing that we have the bonding or sharing of electron with one s orbital of the carbon. So there is a sigma bond, sigma bond, sigma bond, and here is another sigma bond, and here is another sigma bond, and there is lone pair, lone pair. So they do not share the electron. So for any covalent bond, to make a covalent bond, you need to have a single electron, or for a coordinate covalent bond, if there is any other component with electron deficiency, in that case these lone pairs can be donated, but here we do not have. Therefore we have two lone pairs, and this is one sigma bond, here is another sigma bond, and another sigma, sigma, sigma. So this is the structure of methanol. And in previous slide I have mentioned that we have two lone pairs. We have two lone pairs of in the oxygen. Therefore this is a one lone pair, this is one lone pair. So this is electron and this is electron. These two electrons, or this couple of electrons, will repel each other, because we know same charge repel or opposite charge attract. Therefore there is electrons, so same charge repel each other. Therefore we will have a repulsion in between these two pairs. Therefore this sigma bond and this sigma bond will get stressed, because these lone pairs will occupy little bit more space compared to natural. If there were only single electron, that means no repulsion, so it can have some bonding with like this way. So here the bond angle should be little bit larger compared to the bond angle here. So the bond angle for this molecule will be little bit smaller compared to the general or default tetrahedral shape. So by this way the methanol molecule can be formed, and this is the orbital picture of the methanol molecule. Similar way, if you have a very long chain alcohol, in that case you can have another sp3 hybridized carbon. So we can have here one sp3 hybridized carbon, so we can have here, or even here, or even here. So by oxygen is sp3 hybridized by this way, and you can have very long chain hydrocarbon to this to make the sp3 hybridized hydrocarbon. So that is the structure of any alcohol having one hydroxyl group or monohydric alcohol. And this is the end of today's class. If you have any question or comment regarding this, you are welcome.